Hello everyone, Mike Wilson here. Welcome back to the Hit or Miss Star Trek channel for another of my Eaglemoss product reviews for the Star Trek Starships collection. In this case, the Star Trek Discovery collection again, and another new release. This one, as you can see from the thumbnail and from the box art here, is the USS Voyager-J, the futuristic version of Janeway's classic USS Voyager. I've been waiting for this one for a long time. It's a design I really loved on TV. I thought it looked really cool, and I was very keen to see what Eaglemoss would do with it. I had seen previously an image of the model on display, or what I presume was a prototype, which looked pretty good. So I've had this on pre-order for a while. It's finally arrived to go with my Discovery A that you'll probably have watched the review of. If you haven't, you can check it out on the channel, and do obviously like, subscribe, and spread far and wide, as they say. So before I go any further, apologies again for the picture quality. It's not going to be fantastic, unfortunately. I did try. I have actually bought a new webcam, believe it or not, which is what's currently displaying some things here. Hi. But it doesn't seem like it's the best, despite what I paid for it, unfortunately. So, but I will still put HD pictures and things that I'll take from my phone and incorporate them into the video so that you can see a bit more of what the model looks like. But yeah, that's that. But this, in this instance, unlike Discovery A, this is the first time I've opened this at all. I haven't done anything because I wanted to do a live unboxing for the first time. And so this is going to be as new to me as it is to all of you if you haven't got the model already. As we did last time, I'll start off by showing you the box art, which obviously you've seen the front. That's the Discovery range, the Voyager-J, a picture of it. On the side, Discovery, Voyager-A, that's all that is. And again, picture on that side of the Voyager-J, and here, blah, blah, blah. So, the usual stuff. So I'm going to get stuck in. I'm very keen because, as I say, I haven't really seen what this is going to be like, and I'm intrigued, particularly after the very slight disappointment of the Discovery A. So, yeah, see what they've done with this range. First thing you see, obviously, is, of course, the magazine that it comes with on the Voyager-J. I won't go through all this because it'll be boring, and if you have the magazine, you'll see it all for yourself. But that's basically a hint of some things. Something that's noticeable, I've just noticed here, that they seem to have noted that the Voyager-J is supposed to not just have detached nacelles, but have a detached saucer section, which it does actually have in this view, this ortho view here. So I'm wondering if they have incorporated that into the model. I thought they might have ignored that, but seems maybe not. And yeah, you can see just some of the production art and the like in here. Just a few quick examples. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. If you want me to, by all means, leave a comment or what have you, and we'll see where we can go. But, ooh, here we go. I'm now, I should really have tipped it so that I could show you guys, but I've took the first layer of polystyrene out, and this is what I am greeted with. Already I will say I am way more impressed with the look of this than I was with the Discovery A. It just seems to look a bit more substantial. Whether it is or not, we'll see, I guess. But yeah, so the first things first. Then I'll take out the main bulk of the ship, as I did with the Disco. And I can confirm that yes, they do seem to have acknowledged. You can't really see it all that well on the camera, but they have acknowledged that the saucer should be separated. And they've done a really good job with it. They've got four small, I don't know how to describe it, four small clear pegs, I guess, would be how I would describe it, which, again, begs the question of why they couldn't have done something like this for the nacelles, because it's not bad at all. And you can kind of see on the camera there, without the picture quality being great, that it does kind of look like it's detached. It's done a very good job of that illusion. I will also add that this saucer section is beautiful. It's bulky and it is entirely metal. Let me just check the registries, as I always do. Yep, Voyager, NCC-74656-J. My camera doesn't want to focus, but it does say that, I promise. And again, the usual detail. One thing I do like about this ship, and I don't know if it's intentional or not, is that whatever the bit of Aztecing or whatever is on the back here, it seems to make the Starfleet Delta symbol. which I personally dig. I know some people might have thought that was a bit cheesy, a bit on the nose, but I love that. And yeah, as soon as I saw the ship, I kind of referred to the back, I guess, drive section as the can opener, because it kind of, with this bit cut out, it does sort of look like, it does, doesn't it? It's a tin opener, really, isn't it? But yeah, fantastic though. The drive section also, decent bit of detailing and a little pennant across the bottom. Again, camera's not showing it, but hopefully my images will. Yeah, and the drive section does seem like it's plastic, but it does seem like hard plastic. So yeah, it doesn't seem flimsy at all. And this whole thing has a bit of a bulk to it. Let me just specify as well. I can see that it has noticeable, I think, impulse engines is what these are. And yeah, there's a registry on the bottom of the ship as well. Voyager-J. Again, my camera does not want to focus, but you can just about see it there. And little, I guess this is maybe a captain's yacht or something. I'm not sure. Maybe a bit of bridge detail at the top here. Good. Very good. And naturally, these are the nacelles, which, as you know, it's the 32nd century, so they come detached. So they're not on the ship, but I will just show you one of them. These are good, actually. I mean, they're smaller than the Discoveries, obviously. But I do love that the pennant and everything on it looks really cool. They've done a good job displaying the Starfleet logo and the registry of the ship. And I like whatever this indentation thing is here. Maybe it's a grill or something. I don't know. I'm not a Starship engineer. But yeah, and there's even a little bit of, yeah, a little bit of a sort of, I guess it might be supposed to be a light on the back here, a little bit of clearness that reflects a little bit, but it's very cool. These are obviously plastic, these nacelles, as with the others. But yeah, and they've got the traditional blue warp grill on the side and something of a Bussard collector on the front, but they are there. Everything seems to be in place. Yeah, so, aha, there we go. Now, with the attaching of the nacelles, I had seen an image and I had presumed that it was two clips like the Discovery A, but I've just found out it's not. It's all one piece like this. Now, I still think this is probably going to look better, judging by the prototype that I saw, than the Discovery A's detached nacelles looked. You can see that there. Let me just slip it on and see what it's going to look like. Okay, so it goes onto the back quite easily there. That's good. Attaches. I'm probably going to end up putting these nacelles in the wrong way around, but I hope not. There we go. That just clips in like so. And hopefully the other one will do. This looks really good. I'm pretty impressed, I will say. This one clips in place, if it does. One's a bit looser than the other, but that was the case on the Discovery as well. And voila, there we have it. That's the Voyager-J's detached nacelles. Again, it's not fantastic, but I will still say, like with the prototype model that I saw, I do think these are more impressive for whatever reason than the Discoveries. If it's because the nacelles are smaller, maybe it's because it's all one strip instead of seeming like an altogether grabby bit, I guess, on the Disco A. I'll show you because I'm going to show a comparison later, so I'll show you what I mean. But for some reason, this is a lot easier to suspend my disbelief that these nacelles are just floating in midair. And as I said, coupled with the fact that the saucer is kind of doing the same, even the side view is not too bad. You can still kind of see that, yeah, it's got a clip on it, unfortunately. But it's not bad. And the ship itself, I will say, is, yeah, spoiler alert, it's definitely way more impressive to me than the Discovery A, this ship, by far. It's got more bulk to it. It looks, to me, nicer. There seems like there's, I don't know if there's more metallic parts or if it's just because the bulk of it was the saucer and it's a nicer saucer because it's not just a couple of smaller rings. But for whatever reason, I do really, really like this ship. Yeah, this is a lot more worth the money, I would say, and they've done a great job of transferring what was only briefly seen, let's be honest, on TV into something cool. Just noticing a few other details here that I might go through. There's some what looks like metallic sheen on a couple of parts, one on the bridge and one on what I presume maybe a shuttle bay at the back here. Maybe you can see that better on pictures if I'm able to put some in. And there are little pods of some kind on the saucer section there, these little yellow bits. I don't know what they are, whether they're escape pods maybe or something. And I noticed this, of course, as soon as I saw the design of the ship, these things around the side. There seems to be too many of them for them to be phaser strips, which would make sense, but I don't know if they're just supposed to be Aztecing or some kind of complex windows, or again, because it's the 32nd century, maybe they're like some kind of, I don't know, programmable matter pits so that it can just make whatever weapons or whatever it needs as and when, which would be kind of cool, you know. But again, it's a shame we haven't really seen more of this ship. I would have loved to. And there we go, a couple of lights on the front that I hadn't mentioned there as well, that I've noticed, red lights, which are really cool. And yeah, so that's what it looks like. I do love that. I think this has some of the better views, because even looking at it from the front there, it's definitely got a bit of a Voyager Prometheus Dauntless, you know, silhouette going on here, which looks nice. And I do like the traditional deflector and drive section. From the front, you know, it looks very Voyager-y, bit of a Prometheus vibe maybe, but yeah. From the side, now that's Voyager, isn't it? Really, from the side, it just looks. I'm probably covering a bit more than I should be, but I don't want to damage the model. So, oh, there's the nacelles wanting to come off. There we go. And that's yeah, I think that looks way more USS Voyager to me on the side view. And so we'll see if I place it down what it's going to look like on the stand, which I haven't yet opened. So this is the stand, as you would expect. It has the limited edition numbering, and it says USS Voyager NCC-74656-J. This being several generations down the line from the ship we know from Star Trek Voyager. If you watch the show, you know this. But yeah, I think as an evolution of that design, I really like it. I don't love the idea that they just call the classes the same thing. So this is just called an Intrepid class, the same as Voyager. And they have a Constitution class, and they're just differentiated by saying Intrepid class 32nd century or Constitution 32nd century. But, you know, we get by with it, I guess. I did like that Star Trek Online called it a Janeway class, but I think that's been disproved in canon, shall we say, in the show, and there's been a USS Janeway scene since. So, yeah. So this is the stand. These seem worryingly spindly, if I'm honest, but I'm going to see how well it goes on. It tells me to attach to the back of the saucer specifically. That's not bad, actually. That's not bad at all. That kind of works. Let me just see if I can show you here. There we go. That's a good view. Yeah, so it goes onto the saucer section, and this stand is very secure. I won't lie. It's a very good job, and it looks fantastic. It's just slightly upright enough to look like it's in flight without looking ridiculous. And again, for whatever reason, I can suspend belief with these detached nacelles a lot easier than I can with the Discovery A. And I just think this looks like a bigger, more substantial ship. I think that might be the design more than actually the size, but we'll find out, because I happen to have the Discovery A right here to do a size comparison and see what it looks like. So here we go. If I can drag the Disco A in, here we go. So here is the Discovery A next to the Voyager-J. Apologies, it's not a great view, but I'll try and get some picture comparisons maybe as well. I couldn't really work out how to get a good view on the webcam here, but you can see already there the difference. Like I said, it's hard to explain, but it does just look a bit more substantial. The Discovery A is good. Don't get me wrong. It's not a terrible design. And as an interpretation of this ship, it's good, but it just looks so thin and so bitty because it's all in sort of sections and stuff in a way, which is weird because I know the Voyager-J is as well. There just seems to be more of it. And again, they've translated the Discovery A's hull as well as they could, I guess, because it's not the bronze of the original. It's got a metallic sheen and a lot of Aztecing to it, which looks pretty good. But personally, I much prefer this, the kind of the traditional grayish hull that you used to get on the Federation ships. And there's only the most basic of Aztecing. It's not an overly complicated pattern, and it just looks, you know, simple but effective, I guess, is the words I would use. So yeah, bear with me because the stand has proven me wrong and wants to be loose. But there we go. No, I love this. I think the Voyager-J is very good. So yeah, there's the Voyager-J. There's the Discovery A. Size-wise, as I put them side by side here, they're comparable. They are comparable, but it just feels like there's more of this, like I said, because of the design, because it's a big sort of diamond triangle thing with a decent-sized drive section. As I said during my review, I've come to love this, I think, more and more the more I look at it, the Discovery A. But you can see as well what I'm talking about with the clips, that they just don't look convincing at all. and there just seems too much of it to get hold of. Like I said, they could have done what they did with the Voyager-J's saucer, just little sort of stubby things, but I suspect they didn't do that because they thought it would probably break, and likely it would. The designs on some ships like the USS Curry, the nacelles just constantly want to come off, so I can understand why they might have been reluctant, but I still think this version of the detached nacelles with just one strip is better than this sort of weird, complicated pattern, 2 prongs, an extra bit, you know. And again, I suppose it's probably nicer that this is one piece as well that attaches the nacelles together, and this is like 2 separate clips, which is a bit weird and complicated, and the nacelles themselves are already spindly. And but yeah, I'm not here to review the Discovery A or its issues that I had, and as I say, it's a great ship. It's way more metallic, I would say, than the Voyager-J because it has got a plastic drive section, this one. But again, it's hard enough plastic that I can definitely forgive it. And even though the size is the same, like I said, because it just seems wider or there's more of it or it's well designed. Yeah, whoever designed this, Ryan Denning, I think it was, kudos for designing something that looks A, futuristic, B, like it is a lineage from the Intrepid class and from Voyager, and C, that just looks like a Federation starship, you know. The Discovery was, I guess, plagued by being a very weird, unfamiliar design from the start, whereas this is a beauty. It says I absolutely love it. I can't say anything else other than that I wanted to do one more comparison, which is to its forebear, the USS Voyager, the original NCC-74656. Here we are. I only have the small model of this because I'm not about to be paying 50 quid for an XL version of a ship that I already own. Maybe if they're on sale or something, sometime I might. But as I say, I already have it, even though it's the smaller version. So here we have the small USS Voyager. I say small, it's not tiny, obviously. And this is where you can really see, first of all, well, I guess the lineage that is there, but also the differences. Yes, it has kind of got, especially with this little clip on, it has got very similar stubby nacelles. The drive section's very similar with the back part cut out, but the saucer is way more, I suppose, USS Prometheus, and the drive section's got a little bit less clout to it, I suppose, than Voyager would have. Again, I'll probably put some comparison photos on, but if you see the two of them sort of side by side, although to be fair, it doesn't look that different, I don't think. You can tell. I mean, this is supposed to be, 11 generations later, so I think there's enough there, and you can definitely tell it's supposed to be the Voyager. So yeah, this is its daddy ship, I guess. The Voyager original and the Voyager-J. There we go. So yeah, that'll cover it. So yeah, just remains for me to sort of sum up as best I can and to say that, as I say, this channel is called Hit or Miss, so I always want to give my opinion either way. On this one, absolute hit, unequivocal. Way better than the Discovery A, but no shade to the Disco A and the people that made it. I think, like I said, it just happens to be a more traditional Starfleet design, and it looks kind of nicer the way it's done. So whoever it was that was tasked with making it just had a better starting point to begin with, but yeah, this feels heavy in a way that the Discovery A doesn't. It feels bulky. It's got so many cool angles that you can sort of watch it at, and I'm really, really happy to own this ever since having sort of first glimpsed it. And again, I mean, when we first saw it in Discovery Season 3, we got this is what we saw, this on a screen of like, oh, it's the Voyager. It must be 11 generations. And this was it. This was all we saw. So actually having not just pictures and orthos, but this whole model to imagine a whole rich life to and everything. Fantastic. Massive, massive hit. Eaglemoss have done a great job on this. Again, price-wise, this is, let's say 40 quid. It's 39.99. So because it is one of the Discovery range, which are larger sized, but not XL. Unlike the Discovery A, though, this will not, as far as I'm aware, get an XL release. This is the only release that will be for this, which may be why it's kind of a bit bulkier and a bit more substantial. So yeah, this is the only thing. Is it worth 40 quid? Now, I would say in this case, I would say yes, controversially perhaps, because I really like what they've done here. And even though there is some kind of basic detailing and designs, I just think it looks amazing and it looks big enough to justify that price tag. I mean, if you can get it on a sale, which again, as I explained in my previous review, I got so much percentage off because of the pre-orders being done during a Christmas winter sale. If you can get money off, then absolutely. But if you were wanting to put your money down and you happen to have 40 quid and you're looking at this and the Discovery A, even though this isn't a hero ship, I would definitely say that Voyager-J is a much better model for your money and a lot more worth it. You know, debatable whether you think anything's worth that kind of price, but yeah, I think this justifies that price tag a lot more just by what it's done. And yeah, just noticed as well, by the way, that it has the same lines on the bottom of the drive section that I was talking about on the top of the saucer. I can only assume they're supposed to be, like I said, programmable matter or something, but whatever, they look good, you know. And I think this model probably has way more detail than the original fleeting things that we saw, certainly in Discovery Season 3, if not Season 4, for those who have been lucky enough to see it. I've just noticed as well, because I didn't actually check, and I do like to check for deflector dishes. It does kind of look like it has a deflector, but it's not like lit up or anything. It's not a separate color than everything else. But again, it's the 32nd century. Maybe it just appears out of nowhere through programmable matter. I can forgive it. And it certainly looks like it has a deflector housing and a little drive section part there. So yeah, and plus that's just a cool view. It really is. I think Voyager looks good from this angle as well. Let me just grab it again. I shouldn't have put it away. But yeah, so Voyager looks best from this angle, arguably. And I think this does too. And that shows you that they are the same but different, maybe is the way I would describe that. So yeah, definite hit for the Voyager-J. Kudos to Eaglemoss for doing a really good job on the creation of it, if not the speediness of getting it to me. But yeah, so if you have any other reviews that you would like to see of any specific products, let me know. And I will do my best to accommodate you. I've been trying to work out, you know, new webcams and things for situations like this, whilst also working on season 2 of the Hit or Miss Star Trek podcast, which is coming your way very soon. I'm literally recording the first episode in a day or two's time. I haven't been very well. I've suffered a little bit. I thought it looked like I may have suffered from the old Omicron, but turns out it's just been an inner ear infection. So if I'm a little bit offish, apologies, but hopefully I've been able to do my reviews and notes and I'm ready to start recording. So it should be, I think, February the 13th is episode 1 of season 2's broadcast date. So keep a lookout for that. All the details are on the social medias, as always, which is written on your screen there, at HomTrek, at HOMTrek. So it'll explain what Series 2 is and what we're going to be doing. And yeah, if you have any other questions, queries, whatever, that aren't about my quality of webcam, then please leave them in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this review and it's been informative and entertaining. As I mentioned in the previous review, this hopefully won't be the last, not just because I wanted to maybe do some other things, but because I also have one last ship on pre-order that I'm still waiting on, which is the USS Cerritos from Star Trek Lower Decks. That is an XL version that retails at 60 quid, so it should be quite some size. And I'm pretty excited for that because I've loved kind of the design of that ship since watching Lower Decks for the first time. So I'm keen to see what they do with that. It was listed as a publication date of the 15th of January on the website, but it still has pre-order and it's not available. But again, we're not going to nitpick. We're not going to complain, because if they come out with stuff of this kind of quality and magnitude, then it was worth the wait, I think, in this case. So yeah, do keep on watching the channel and keep on trekking. And yeah, remember, always, we are Starfleet. Live long and prosper.